Hey everyone, Sonia here from Blackstone Designs, and today we're going to work the herringbone stitch. I'm using Lion Brand Woolies and Fisherman and a Clover H hook for this tutorial. Now this stitch is worked in a multiple of 6 plus 2. So for this tutorial, I'm going to do a shortened version and only do a chain 20. If you're following along with the New Year's resolution cal, you're going to want to do a chain of 50 or 56 depending on your personal tension. And you may need to adjust your hook size depending on how you crochet. Now the fun thing about this stitch is that it looks very complex, but it's really a very simple 2-row repeat once you get the foundation rows put in. So starting with your beginning chain, you're going to single crochet in the second chain from hook, chain 1, and then you're going to skip the next chain. And I work across the back bump. That keeps it uniform and pretty on the other end, so it looks like it's its own set of stitches. So we did the single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then single crochet in the next. And then we're going to chain 1 again, skip the next chain, and single crochet in the next. And you do that all the way across the beginning chain. Single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1. And when you get to the end, your very last chain will have a single crochet in it. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Then we're going to do a chain 1 and turn. And then this is super simple also. You're going to single crochet in every single crochet. So we single crochet in that first one, chain 1, and we're going to skip the chain 1 space below. Then we're going to single crochet into the single crochet. So it's going to be that way all the way across. You'll single crochet in every single crochet, chain 1, skip the chain 1 below it. Single crochet, chain 1, skip that. Single crochet into the single crochet, chain 1, skip the chain 1. And again, when you get to the end, you'll put a single crochet in that last single crochet. Okay. It's actually kind of a pretty fabric by itself, but we're not done. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and this is where we start putting in the herringbones. So you'll start by putting a single crochet in that first single crochet, and from here you're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to skip this first chain 1 space and that next single crochet, and we're going to work with these chain 1 spaces. You're going to skip the top one here. You're going to come down 2 rows below and work around that one. So you take your chain 3 and you're kind of crossing it over all of that down here, and then you come under the chain 1 space like this. So you're working across the top of the fabric only, and you're just going to do a slip stitch in there. So let me show you that again. We go 1, 2, 3 chains, skip that first chain 1 space. So I'm going to skip that first chain 1 space and that single crochet right here. And here's the next chain 1 space, but we don't want the top one from the previous working row. We want the one 2 rows below. And we're going to come under it like this so that we're working on the top of the fabric only. Okay, so I'm going to put that chain back on, skip, chain 1 space, skip single crochet. Here's the next chain 1 space, but we're going to the one underneath it, up from the bottom, And then we're doing a slip stitch right around that chain 1 space. Next, we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to skip this next single crochet that's right next to that chain 1 space where we worked, except on the previous working row, not 2 rows below. So skip the single crochet, skip the chain 1 space, and we're going to single crochet in the next single crochet. And as you can see, it gives you this pretty herringbone V. And then we're going to just repeat that across. So now that we've done the single crochet, we're going to chain 3. Skip the chain 1 space, skip the single crochet. Here's the next chain 1 space. We're going to the one below it. So we want 2 rows below. Up underneath. And we do a slip stitch. And then we chain 3 again. 2, 3. Skip the single crochet, skip the chain 1 space, and put a single crochet in the next single crochet. What I will tell you is when you're coming up after you put that slip stitch in, and you're coming up with your chain 3 space, it kind of hides that first single crochet. So just make sure you kind of pull back and say, oh, okay, there's my first single crochet. Because here's my chain 1 space area, that single crochet. Here's the next one, the next chain spaces. And then we're in this single crochet. And then we chain 3 again, skip the chain 1 space, a single crochet. Here's our next set of chain 1 spaces, slip stitch, and then 1, 2, 3. And our last one is going to land in that very last single crochet. And this is what row 3 looks like. You've got this pretty, it almost looks like a wave, and it comes down these pretty V's. So row 4, chain 1, we turn. Now this is why it's very important to make sure that you're working these slip stitches over the front of the fabric only. When you get to the back side, you'll see better. But you want to make sure you see how this is tucked nice and neatly onto the front, and we still have these spaces, stitches in the back. If you were to come down over the entire fabric, you would cinch all that together and you would lose these stitches in the back. So we're going to turn it, we're going to single crochet in that first single crochet. Then if you remember down here, or from that previous row, we had the single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So we're working back across that. So we're going to, again, skip the chain 1 space. We're going to double crochet. Not single crochet. Now we're going to put in some double crochets. So we're going to double crochet in the next single crochet down there. And then you're going to chain 1 again. And we want another double crochet in that next single crochet. And then we're chaining 1. So we did a single crochet in that first single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the single crochet, chain 1, skip. And now if you fold your chain 3s, your little herringbone where the single crochet is that breaks up the 2 herringbones, we're going to single crochet into that. And then you'll chain 1, and then you're going to work behind the chains again, find that single crochet, and then you will double crochet into it. Chain 1, find that next single crochet, we're going to double crochet into that, chain 1, then again we're folding these chains back up so we can get that single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet into that, chain 1, double into the single crochet, chain 1, double into the next single crochet, and this is 2 rows below on the back side, if that helps you find the placement. You're not, the current working row is where we have the herringbones on the front side with the single crochets in it, and then 2 rows below that would be the chain 1, skip 1s across, so make sure you're working into that. And then with our final, we did that double crochet, chain 1, and we want a single crochet in that last single crochet. And this is what your first 4 rows will look like. And you see how when we worked our single crochets into those single crochets, it really helps pin the V's into place, and it also flattens out the top edge. Okay, and this is where we start doing the 2-row repeat that I told you. It's really easy. Rows 5 and 6 are the constant pattern that will work from here on out. We'll do row 5, row 6, then we'll repeat row 5 and row 6. All the way until it's at your desired length. So for row 5, we're going to put a single crochet in that and a single crochet. We're going to chain 3. So this is always going to be the pattern when you're working the front side of the fabric. You do your chain 3, and then you want to find that chain 1 space 2 rows below. And you're going to find that kind of tucked in that V. So here's that first herringbone we made, and if you kind of look behind it, you'll find that chain 1 space from 2 rows below. And again, you're coming up from the bottom so that you're working across the top of the fabric like this, and you're putting your slip stitch in there. So chain 3, slip stitch, then we're going to chain 3 again, and we're going to single crochet in that single crochet. So it's the same network of single crochets that we've been working. This was between the 2 V's from the last row, and then on the back side of the fabric, we worked a single crochet that helps pin it and flatten it that I was explaining to you. Now we're putting a single crochet back in that same. So you're going to have single crochets that go all the way up and that separate the V's from each other. So now we got that in, we're going to do a chain 3 again. We come down, find that chain 1 space 2 rows below, which is marked by that V point. Slip stitch in there, chain 3, single crochet in that single crochet. Chain 3, slip stitch around that chain 1 space, chain 3, and then single crochet in that last single crochet. Okay, this is the end of row 5. And for row 6, we do chain 1, turn, and this is where it gets really easy too. Single crochet in the single crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, single crochet in that same single crochet. I told you from the front side we're going to keep working the single crochets right up. So there'll always be a single crochet in that set of single crochets. And then at the end of each stitch, working the back side, we chain 1. So now we've done that. We're going to double crochet in the double crochet. Chain 1. Double crochet in the double crochet. Chain 1. Single crochet in the single crochet. Chain 1. And then here we go with the doubles. Double in the double. Chain 1. Double in the double. Chain 1. And then you're always going to end with a single crochet in that last stitch. And as you can see, it actually starts to make kind of a pretty pattern on the back side of the fabric as well. Now, one thing I do want to say, you want to be very careful that you never miss a chain 1 space working across the back side. You have your single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. This is going to help keep the fabric uniform in width. Because of the way it works, it does start to cinch a little, especially from this beginning row, since the way we worked this versus the chain 3s on the front side. And this is all going to create kind of a cinch. So if you accidentally skip any chain 1 spaces on the back side, then you're pulling the fabric in even more. So we need to make sure that we always have every chain 1 space. That's also going to help you when you're working your herringbones across the front, because you need the chain 3 space to, the chain 1 space to work into. All right, so I'll do another repeat with you of both. Now we're working a row 5 repeat. So 1, 2, 3. We find that chain 1 space 2 rows below, come up under it, and slip stitch into it. 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the single crochet. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into that chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the single crochet. And then we single crochet in that last single crochet, chain 1 turn. We're going to single crochet in that first single crochet, chain 1. Double in the double, chain 1. Double in the double, chain 1. Single in the single, chain 1. And then single crochet in that last single crochet. And that's what you will work all the way until your fabric reaches your desired length. So, and if you can see how it's starting to do the cinch, where this row is a lot wider, and this is why this is also going to have to be blocked at the end. And if you're working the New Year's resolution cowl, we want it to be 15 inches by 15 inches when it's done. So for myself and my own personal tension, I was able to use the H hook, which is 5 millimeters. And I did a starting chain of 56, and I was able to block that out. But my beginning row was just about, I think it was about 14 3/4 when I was done. If you have a looser tension than I do, you may want to drop down to 50 starting chains, or if you have a similar but a little bit bigger, you may just want to drop down to like a G hook or even the 4.5 millimeter hook. So you're going to have to play around with your gauge a little bit. And the pattern on my website does have all the gauge information if you're doing the New Year's resolution cowl. So this is January's stitch. We want it to be 15 by 15, so we did 56 by, I believe it was 57 rows. Okay, and this is the crochet herringbone stitch. I hope you love it as much as I do, and I hope I was able to teach you a new stitch today. Happy crocheting!